What's up everyone, Sam here, and today I wanted to go over airlines and kind of break down the industry and see if it's a really good investment right now or if it's something that you actually stay away from. Now we all know that there are several airlines that you can be investing in. Some of them are just shown here. But what I want to do today is just kind of go over the industry as a whole and see if it's something that you should become involved in. Depending on your outlook of how things are currently going, you may be thinking this is a great time to buy. Or you may be thinking this is time to shy away and just avoid this altogether. And that's completely understandable. I mean, no one alive today has actually ever gone through a situation quite like this. I find it funny how on the news, like every night, there's someone that says, have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever seen anything quite like this? Like, obviously not. So most industries are getting hit really hard right now. Airlines are just one in particular that I keep thinking about because, ultimately we still need to fly. But right now, the numbers of how many flights are actually happening are so dramatically low compared to what we normally see. It's an industry that I'm really keeping my eye on. As far as other industries I'm talking about restaurants, entertainment, travel in general, hotel stays. It's really hard to say which of these industries are being hit the hardest, especially individual companies. You'd think that some of these companies are going to end up failing because they can't all be bailed out, right? So that's still yet to be seen. So how bad are things in the airline industry? So when I think about this, I think about 9/11 because that was another time where the airline industry had a huge hit. The difference between 9/11 and the crisis that we're going through now is 9/11 we kind of knew what the issue is and how to resolve it. So to help us decrease any type of attacks like we saw on September 11th, we ramped up security with the TSA. We locked the cockpit doors, and we also have all become just more aware of our surroundings and just more on alert, especially when you're in an airport. So what's going to make us more comfortable with using the airlines after this type of crisis that we're going through today? Are we going to all be wearing masks? Are we going to be required to block off middle seats so those are no longer used, which is going to ramp up the prices of the other tickets, you would think? Are you going to have to carry some kind of card that proves that you've become immune to whatever diseases there may be, or you've had the vaccinations, whatever that might look like? We don't know. After 9/11, it took the airline industry 6 years to become profitable again. Without a clear solution to this pandemic that we're going through right now, it's really hard to say how long it's going to take to become profitable again, but it seems like it's going to be more than 6 years. If you compare just April 2019 to April 2020, there are 95% less passengers in the airport. And I'm talking about some of the largest airports in the country, such as Newark and New York. The only type of growth that we've really seen in this industry is cargo. And that's because they're shipping so many medical supplies throughout the entire country. People aren't traveling for vacation, and we know that. However, businesses are taking a hit as well, because business travel is a huge part of the airline industry. And right now, businesses just aren't requiring it, or it's not even available. If you look at this on a worldwide scale, 60% of commercial flights are no longer flying. And the ones that are, you know that they're not flying at full capacity. In the United States, many of our mainline jets are just sitting idle for now. You got to think that some of these are going to be up for early retirement. American Airlines currently has 300 planes that are idle, Delta has 500, and United has 800. The largest commercial plane that we currently have running is the Airbus A380, which can hold about 500 people at capacity. There are a total of 242 of these planes throughout the entire world, and right now, only 6 are operating. These jets are super expensive to fly because how much fuel they cost. But right now, you've got to be thinking that some of these jets are never going to come back, because how long is it going to take you to become comfortable to sit in such a confined space with 500 strangers that you don't know what's going on with them again? This all comes down to how people are going to feel about that type of situation. Like, when is it that you're going to feel comfortable being in such a close proximity with so many strangers? Now get this, on April 12th, 2020 of this year, there were 90,000 people screened by TSA. On the same day last year, there were over 2.4 million. Delta right now is only flying 5% of what their normal load would be. 95% down in such a short period of time. And it's not just Delta. I mean, American Airlines is down 96% from their busiest day that they just saw in January. If you want to look at specific locations, you can look at San Francisco. Right now they only have 50 flights a day, when normally they would have 300. Looking at Newark, New Jersey is even worse. Right now they only have 16 flights each day, when they would normally have 400. As for future airline tickets, meaning you're going to take a trip in a month or two and you already have your tickets, those sales are down 94%. Normally this is kind of a busy season for booking flights because you're either going to kickstart your summer with a vacation or you're going to be visiting family that you haven't seen in a while. And right now that's just not happening. The whole idea of summer has completely changed. I mean, kids aren't even in school, so when does summer break even kind of start? It was always kind of a mentality for me, like knowing, this is my last day of school, I know I'm going to be starting summer. Like, kids aren't even in school right now. I know that they're doing school from home and that, but it's completely different than actually going to the building and hearing that bell for the last time. So the entire mentality of summer is just, it isn't there right now. The first question we need to figure out is, when's the world going to open up again, right? We don't know that definitive date, but we will have something marked on the calendar knowing when your city or state or the entire country is going to be open. The second question is, when are people going to feel comfortable again? And I mean comfortable socializing with anyone, being closer than 6 feet, if that's ever a thing again. Like, when is that going to happen? First question, hopefully we'll know that answer sometime this summer, like we'll have a specific date. The second question is really difficult to answer. I mean, it's all based on emotion. It's going to be different person to person. Like, we're not going to have a specific date on the calendar when everyone just automatically feels comfortable again. Now, investing in the market itself is really based on emotion in general. There are going to be people that just trade based on their gut instinct or how they feel about a certain industry. And that's kind of how an entire industry moves. I know that there's data behind this, but a lot of traders are just going to say, I know that this is going to happen because this is what I heard on TV, or this is how I feel about this industry. So if you're looking at the airline industry, it's going to be the same way. If you truly knew what was going to happen in the market, that wouldn't happen because everyone else would know as well. So the market would never move. It would just stay put. Every day we turn on the news, right? And you hear some good news. And it seems like the world's getting closer and closer to opening up. But it seems to always be paired with bad news that kind of, destroys any good news that you just heard. So it's kind of disheartening to hear that every day and not really know when things are going to get back to normal or get to this new normal. All of these emotions are going to continue to keep these industries down. Restaurants and hotels, and especially airlines. So we need to figure out when is things going to open, and then we need to figure out a plan to make people feel more comfortable. Again, if it took the airline 6 years to become profitable after 9/11, you've got to think that without any type of clear solution here, it's going to take a lot longer. Yes, the government is bailing out companies here and there, but kind of how long is that going to last? After all, stimulant money is much, much different than earned money. When you earn money, you are producing something. Whether you're producing a good or you're producing a service, there's a tangible asset that you're actually creating. When you were just given money for free, it's completely artificial. You didn't do anything to actually earn the money, so this cannot last forever. Now, some of you as investors are looking for a quick gain. Hey, if you go ahead and invest in company A, maybe it'll be up 30% tomorrow and then you can cash out. And that's called day trading, and that's how a lot of people end up losing their savings. Now, if you are interested in long-term gains, long-term investing, meaning you're going to hold for 20, 30, 40 years, or you're never going to be looking to sell, the airline industry may be right for you. Now, you need to do your own homework here and understand that the airline industry in general is still going to be around. However, individual companies within it could actually go bankrupt, meaning if you put all of your money into one airline, that airline may actually disappear and you will lose all of your hard-earned money. So if you are investing in the airlines, just like anything else that you're investing in individual stocks, you want to make sure that you're using money that you know that you will be okay without. Some money that you don't necessarily need right now. Maybe you need it in the future, maybe you're just kind of gambling with it. but it's definitely money that you're going to be willing to lose. So this could potentially be a really good buying opportunity, especially if you're looking for something to sell 7 to 10 years from now. But anything before then is going to be really risky. But with this risk, there could be huge rewards. There also could be huge losses. So that's something that you definitely want to kind of weigh here. Now, of course, this goes for other industries as well. It's going to go for restaurants and hotels and pretty much every industry. So you're going to want to do your homework for any type of investment that you're going to be doing. As always, investing in individual companies is always going to be much, much riskier than investing in something like an index where it's going to be more diverse. But you can potentially have more gains. If you are investing in individual companies, you may want to look at other companies to invest in as well that kind of, balance each other out and diversify your own portfolio. So maybe not buy one airline worth of stock, maybe buy several different airlines so that you can kind of keep things in flow and check and balance each other. Now there is an airline index that may be of interest to you. This is going to help you diversify your portfolio, especially with just airlines. So the index that I'm talking about is called XAL. This index was specifically created to track airline stocks. So the nice thing about investing in this index rather than the individual stocks is that if one of the airlines actually goes bankrupt and it's no longer in business, this index is probably still going to be around. This index right now is trading for about $43 per share, and just in February, 2 months ago, it was selling for $110. So this is a decrease of about 60% in the past 2 months, which pretty much falls in line with individual airline stocks. The airline industry may take several years in order to kind of bounce back and become profitable and for you to see gains. So the index here may be your best bet. So hopefully this video has kind of painted a picture of how the airline industry has been impacted by current situations and just gives you a better idea as to what you can expect from possibly investing in this. Also, if you haven't subscribed, definitely consider doing so. Leave a like and a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.